Hey, what's up, good people? Oh, that sounds super loud. Hey, what's up, good people? Nathan Ivy with you. As I said, CDM is joining the effort to get to zero. In about 3 minutes, we are going to broadcast live, stream live, the Tri-State Strong Getting to Zero video. I'll be here as your host, your humble host, just adding some, hopefully, witticisms to the conversation, taking your viewpoint as well if you'd like to be a part of it. This is a regional, citywide and regional effort by legacy media and with CDM involved, non-legacy media, digital media, to raise awareness about what is happening in terms of the COVID-19 epidemic and the vaccine. And in particular for the Black community is my interest. I want to raise as much awareness as possible to everybody that might be out there, and just to make sure that people, as much as possible, have the information that they need so that they can make a safe and healthy and smart decision. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and pull the cam down. Yo, what up, family? How you doing? Welcome back. Please like and share this live stream. There might be people that might want to join the conversation, this evening. We're going to rock together for at least 1 hour, and I'll be here. I'm going to let the video roll starting in at least 1 minute, just 1 minute. We're going to get started right on time. Please take a second to like and in particular share this stream. I may talk over it just a little bit, but primarily I want you to hear what people are saying on the video. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and get it started right now. There's no sense in wasting any too much time, because again, I want to start right at 7 p.m. Right? I want to be very, very precise with it. Hey, listen, thank you for joining this stream this evening. And again, I 100% believe that good media is a resource, to the audience. And that's what I want CDM to be, a resource for our audience on all levels. And I've been saying for years, I'll say it again, that there's a place for legacy media and digital media, much like Sin Digital Media. So very proud to be a part of this. Check out the video. I'll be with you afterward. I'll be in and out during the video itself if you want to have any conversation. With no further ado, it is at 7 o'clock. I like to do things very, very promptly. So I'm going to step away and start the video. This is Tri-State Strong Getting to Zero.
To zero.
This is a marathon crisis that just never ends.
I know there's a sense of COVID fatigue out there. Everybody is tired of staying away from everybody else.
And we knew this was coming. We knew that the winter was going to be the hardest time.
We want to get to zero cases in our community. And there's so much we can do as individuals.
As a medical community, as a world community, this is a virus that we have little knowledge of. How it's going to behave, what it's going to affect, what organs it's going to affect first, what's the longevity, how long does it stick around in an enclosed space, is it on hard surfaces or not? And, we can extrapolate information based on other viruses that we're familiar with that are similar coronaviruses. But on the other hand, every single one's a little bit different. And this one clearly is very potent.
Welcome. I'm Regina Carswell-Russo with the Regional COVID Communications Center, also known as RC3, an innovative partnership between the Cincinnati, USA Regional Chamber and the Health Collaborative. RC3 shares data-informed and conscientious messaging about COVID-19 prevention to help individuals and businesses make decisions in order to live, work, and play safely through the stages of this pandemic. In an extraordinary first-of-its-kind effort, several local media outlets have joined together, supported by P&G, the business community, our regional hospitals, and a cross-section of regional institutions and sectors, to broadcast and stream simultaneously real voices, real talk, on what we've all been through this past year and the things we can do to get through the most dangerous season of this pandemic, and that's the winter months ahead. Now, while you're watching, you may have some questions. We'll provide COVID-19 hotline numbers for Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, staffed right now with licensed nurses and infectious disease experts to take your calls, so get a pen. But first, the good news. Everyone can do something to get to zero. Zero positive COVID cases, zero hospitalizations, zero closures, zero deaths.
What's different about this is the long-lasting international effect on everybody.
Good evening, everybody. Nathan Ivey with you. I'm in the box in the corner. I'm with you through the entirety of the video. If you want to leave chat, I'll put up on the screen. Tell me what you think. How do you feel about taking the vaccine is my question for you this night.
Are the first people that can help slow the spread to minimize casualties, to minimize people getting infected.
What we know works is wear your mask over your nose, over your mouth, social distancing, and hand hygiene.
We can take responsibility by doing something as simple as saying no. I saw my grandma one time in this whole pandemic, right? It was a nice day and we were outside. It's the only time I've seen my grandma. And out of habit, I went to hug her before I left. And she held her hand and shook her head no. And she has no idea that it even remotely affected me because I laughed and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, I'm a nurse." But like that was my grandma doing her part. As hard as it is, I think just saying no sometimes is just a huge step.
Fact. Our frontline workers, like our nurses, our grocery store workers, teachers, truck drivers, police, fire, all of them, they're all essential to our ability to function in and out of a pandemic. Getting to zero keeps the community safe for them and keeps our businesses open. Coming up, One Westside, iconic family business that shares what they need from us to stay open and stay safe. The Kentucky Public Health COVID-19 hotline is open right now. It's operated by healthcare professionals who answer questions and provide advice. The number is 1-800-722-5725. That's 1-800-722-5725. It's operated by healthcare professionals.
Family is healthy. I still have a job. Feels like we're going through a time where if you've got those two things, you're sort of ahead of the game. And so I count my blessings.
Definitely, I have days when I'm anxious. I can't control things, I'll be honest about that. And this is a great, big, huge thing that I just can't control.
And if you're from Cincinnati, you know opening day is a holiday. So postponing that means that it's serious.
It sort of seemed like an inconvenience, you know, not going out to restaurants, not seeing your friends. But then for me, and I think for so many others, it turned into great concern.
Our trusted local anchors and reporters like Local 12's Kyle Inskeep, Bob Herzog, Paula Toti, and Sheila Gray share what many have felt and are feeling as they make the simplest of decisions every single day. And if you're an employer, you've had to make monumental decisions. So how is our business community managing? Well, for that, we turn to WCPO.
I'm WCPO 9 News anchor Tanya O'Rourke. 3 Cincinnati companies, 3 stories of resilience in the face of a pandemic. WCPO 9 News reporter Dan Monk takes a look at the impact of COVID-19 through the eyes of 3 local business leaders who steered their companies past the train wreck that was 2020. Although P&G is a partner in tonight's show, WCPO 9 News independently produced this story.
The first indication that there was some change coming was from a call that I got with our president and our Greater China organization.
Procter & Gamble CEO David Taylor knew before most of us that 2020 would be different.
Very end of January, early February, when people were supposed to return from Chinese New Year, he got a call from the government to not bring employees back. And at the same time, there were news reports of issues in Wuhan. That's when it was clear that there was something very big that was concerning.
The big challenge brought a big response. P&G quickly shifted production to hand sanitizer and face masks, which it made by the millions for employees, their families, and others.
They worked very hard to get the lines up and running. trucks moving, distribution centers open to serve consumers. And throughout the pandemic, from February all the way to today, this company has been able to ship to consumers worldwide.
But it wasn't just big companies that confronted COVID-19 head on.
We still take people's temperatures coming into the building, whether it's a delivery driver, an employee, or a customer.
Jim Mooring owns Holy Grail at the banks.
We are losing money every month.
He defied the virus by keeping the doors open.
Bluntly, the easiest thing for us to have done would have been to shut down and wait for a vaccine. But we would have put 58 people out on the streets.
This Bond Hill manufacturing company battled the pandemic by splitting shifts and beefing up benefits. That allowed Monty Inc. to keep its 280 essential workers on the job and safely distant. Molly Fender's family owns Monty Inc.
Please get close for taking temperature.
She's in charge of human resources.
We've basically become full-time contact tracers, trying to figure out who's off, who's symptomatic.
Only 8 employees have tested positive, all from exposures away from work.
In the summer, we also gave them an additional bonus to just thank them for coming to work and being dedicated and loyal to the company as we grew.
But it hasn't been all sweetness and light for these businesses.
Managing people when they're scared, of their own safety and their well-being of their family, having to manage those emotions and keep people safe has been really difficult.
I miss very much the personal interaction, having the whole team together, and frankly, the positive energy you get being around other like-minded people that want to make a difference.
I don't know how we became vilified. Now that we're surging, all of a sudden it's the restaurants and bars' faults, and I don't understand that logic.
Just as P&G's CEO doesn't understand why people won't wear a mask.
I keep one with me all the time. I've got it right here, and as soon as I walk back to that door, this will go on before I go in that door, because it makes a difference.
Dan Monk, WCPO 9 News.
Thank you, Dan. From downtown corporate offices to our West Side hometown family businesses, keeping employees and consumers safe is personal. Just ask the La Rosas.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better best.
Growing up in our family, we live that motto in all that we do, and it doesn't matter if it's personal or our family life, our business life, our social life, anything, physical attributes, everything you do, you try to better yourself.
This is a marathon crisis that just never ends. It's a bad dream. It keeps going and extending and extending. Although our particular company was positioned from a business model perspective better than some restaurants, we're fine and we're going to be okay, but I feel very bad about a number of restaurateurs and people in our industry who, if they weren't set up to do the off-premise business, that they were impacted very negatively. And we find ourselves in a different place right now, and unfortunately, it leaves everybody feeling somewhat out of control and somewhat uncomfortable.
Leading our teams, we try to give the best guidance and clarity to what's important for their task at hand, their job, and it just continues to change.
I have a chart on my wall in my office where on March the 11th, we sat down and in a very positive frame of mind, we said, what are the priorities for us right now as we face this crisis? And we discussed and identified a handful of priorities that have led us since the middle of March. They continue to lead us.
You think of what our medical professionals are dealing with in the front line, EMT and those very special people, frontline fire and police, what they're dealing with. And it's like, okay, don't feel sorry for yourself, because there's others out there that have it a whole lot harder and more challenging.
I keep the mask on, and the mask is a good reminder for me that as I go through my walk of life, I may be touching things that could have germs or bacteria or virus on them. So I keep hand sanitizer in my car, in my briefcase. I use it frequently. And these are the same things that we're doing in the restaurants for our team members, because we don't want them to contract the virus. We don't want our guests to contract the virus.
everyone has to take personal responsibility, and we as a company, we have our marching orders, but as individuals, we need to look at what can I do? What can I do to help make a difference? And I think the thing that we've been trying to challenge and remind folks about is don't let fatigue set in.
And I can't begin to predict what's going to happen with this, but I'm optimistic because I think more and more people are doing what they can and should do to help reverse this tide.
And I think it's part of the American DNA that we're relentless, we don't give up, we're resilient, we have a positive outlook, and our determination sees us through.
Thank you, Mike, Mark, and of course, Buddy LaRosa. Optimism, resilience, tri-state strong. There is nothing we as a region can't get through together with that kind of focused determination. Coming up later in the program, 700 WLW legendary radio host Mike McConnell and his way of addressing questions around COVID-19. But first, we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our media outlets, business community, and regional organizations who joined together to bring you Tri-State Strong, Getting to Zero. Artists and musicians weren't the only ones sidelined by COVID. Set and costume designers, electricians, carpenters, stage crews, ticket reps, and more lost jobs. Fact: driving positive COVID cases down opens the economy up. From our public broadcasting station, CET Connect, here's Rodney Veal, host of The Art Show.
Thanks, Regina, and welcome to our neighbors from here inside the CET studios. Today we have a special guest with us from a safe social distance, of course, and she's going to provide unique insights into the pandemic's impact on the arts. Hello and welcome to Alicia Kentner, who is the president and CEO of ArtsWave. What has been the impact on the artists and the arts organizations from this COVID-19 shutdown, and how have they been dealing with the extended shutdown?
It's really, really difficult. Across the United States, half of all artists are unemployed right now. It's kind of shocking. And in the state of Ohio, arts and culture workers have the highest percentage of unemployment of any industry group at 47%. That is a significant number of people who are really hurting, just like any other industry group in our economy. So there's a lot of ripple effect of challenges right now happening.
From the audience perspective, we all love live performance. Like, we're all dying to go see a live, live concert. I want to go see a live dance concert. And so,
yeah.
What have the artists and arts organizations been sharing with you about how they've been kind of pivoting?
There's a lot of ingenuity happening, whether it's an individual artist who's making recordings from their home, from their living room. There are married dancers at Cincinnati Ballet who have created their own pas de deux in their home because they could do that. And then arts organizations are figuring out how to make virtual content or radio broadcasts. One of my favorite examples was Playhouse in the Park early in the pandemic, which commissioned, I believe, 10 local playwrights to create monologues of hope, which were then performed by a local actor and available on the website as online content.
What would be the one thing you would tell an audience about how can we maintain this momentum of keeping a safe distance and keeping everyone safe, but also what can the audience do to kind of keep it going so that we can have the arts once the pandemic has reached a point where we can control and maintain it?
One thing we can do is, of course, visit our local museums because they have been able to safely reopen. And there's great programming, great exhibits, a way to have a little escape with a family or by yourself at holiday time if you just need to get away and take in some art. So don't think that your support now doesn't matter just because the theaters are dark. Quite the contrary. As you say, we need to double down on our contributions for the arts in this community so that they can rebound at the very first moment it's safe to do so. We got to get this under control so that the show can go on.
Hey, Alicia, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. And thank you to everyone at home. On behalf of CET and Think TV PBS, I'm Rodney Veal. Stay safe and be well.
COVID-19 affects all communities badly, but there are some communities that are hit harder, like our diverse immigrant population. For that story, we go to St. Elizabeth Healthcare.
Myself and a few other physicians literally strapped on our boots and went into the Latino population. The information wasn't getting to them like it was the rest, whether it was a language barrier or access to information. We also noted that many of them didn't have the luxury of working from home. And so whereas many had been encouraged to transition to home work, they had no ability to do so and were then forced to continue to go to work.
They recognize that the simple steps that we can all take, like wearing masks, avoiding large gatherings, trying to remain physically distant from people, they recognize that those simple things really do make an impact, and they are trying to abide by those things as much as possible.
It's not like they didn't want to participate early on. It's just that they weren't informed. Helping them to get the social distancing, the hand sanitizer, all of that in place has made a difference.
Part of their concern stems from the responsibility that they have towards their family members who are in their home countries, because they really do send money back home. And when their opportunities to work and to earn money are diminished because of the virus, then they have that additional concern about their family members who are not only facing COVID-19 in whatever country they're living in, but they're also facing enduring hardships that poverty just brings into a person's life.
We are all one humanity, we are all in this together, and it is very, very important that we realize that everything we do, every choice we make right now affects your neighbor. And every decision your neighbor is making is going to affect you.
Surging COVID-19 cases and community spread has caused a teacher shortage in our schools, leading to in-school, distance learning, blended learning, and sometimes all of the above in just a few months, sometimes overnight. Parents have struggled. Real talk. And so have our teachers.
Hi, I'm Catherine Nero with The Inquirer, and right now I'm speaking with Nicole Montello, who's an English language teacher for Kenton County Schools. And Nicole, first of all, an English language teacher, explain to the rest of us what that means.
Sure. So we have many students in the Kenton County School District who do not have English as their first language. Very often it's their second, third, fourth language that they're learning. So my job is to teach students who speak other languages at home besides English. And we have over 40 languages spoken in the district.
Tell us what life has been like during this hybrid virtual year of learning.
I'm just trying to get the message across that, hey, now we're 2 days a week. Now we're online part of the time, and we're online at home. Just getting that communication across has been a big challenge. But we've also seen them be able to work on Wi-Fi situation. A lot of them don't have Wi-Fi at home, or they don't have technology at home. They might have dad's cell phone, but they have to wait for dad to get home from work in order to access their assignments online.
Well, we appreciate all that you do and all the teachers as well. Doing the Lord's work, as I like to say.
At the Cincinnati State Technical and Community College, and also throughout higher ed, had to adjust. We had to adjust to a period of uncertainty. About 70 to 80% of our courses are online. The others are in class, in person. Mostly these are skill-based courses. We really encourage our students to continue with their educational programs, but also recognize that they have to be safe. So we have classes on campus, and we do require masks. We maintain social distancing. We also make sure that we've reduced the density of students on campus, and that's really pretty much true for all the higher ed institutions. I'm only on campus maybe 1 or 2 days a week. We're trying to decrease the density of people on campus, so I work at home, do more Zoom meetings and Zoom events, So it's different, but it's good. The next few months could be very tough. We want to be together, we want to celebrate with our families, but we need to look at new ways of doing that. I encourage people over the holidays to think of new ways of celebrating and being with family. My challenge to the community is to help us get to zero cases. We want to keep ourselves safe, but also every member of the community help keep others safe. I challenge you to wear your mask, to keep the distance, to control, to minimize large gatherings. There's so much we can do, so I challenge you all. Everyone can do something to help us get to zero.
Try to spend more time doing things every day that are good for your body, like playing games, eating healthy food, laughing so hard your belly shakes, and getting plenty of sleep.
Cincinnati Children's has created a series of animated short videos for young children on wearing masks, washing their hands, social distancing, and dealing with their feelings. These videos explain in the simplest, most understandable way how they can stay safe and do what they can to get to zero. Just go to Cincinnati Children's website to access all the videos with the kids.
It's not accurate to say that children and teens don't really get sick from COVID. There absolutely are pediatric deaths from COVID. Where I think this comes from is that were a child versus an adult to become infected, the risk to the adult of becoming more sick is higher. The more we can prevent COVID, the better. By preventing COVID in kids, we will also prevent it from transmitting to older adults who certainly are at greater risk of getting hospitalized and death from COVID.
Can you imagine being a health reporter during the worst global public health crisis in 100 years? In a rare reporter-to-reporter interview, Cincinnati Enquirer's Catherine Nero, family-forward reporter and host of Coffee Break, talks with her Enquirer colleague, health writer Ann Saker.
Well, I mean, it goes without saying that these last several months have been unlike any other that any of us have experienced, literally in our lifetime. So they've been different. But let's talk about how this has changed how we do our jobs, specifically for you, a health writer.
I like phone interviews. I like Zoom interviews, but there is nothing like sitting down across from somebody and having a deep conversation where you're looking into their eyes and you're listening to what their words mean. Mm-hmm. And that's been hard. That's been the hardest thing for me. I did a story last month during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What I discovered is that screening mammography in our region is down by double digits, even this late in the year, because people who were scheduled to go just never signed up again when things shut down. And as we know, downstream from that, we could see really scary levels of cancer incidents in our area because of this. So what will happen that doesn't have anything really to do with the virus, but has everything to do about the way we live together, that is the big story going forward.
What hope have you seen in covering, everything from officials to regular folks in dealing with this?
History of medicine in this region is littered with examples of how the healthcare systems just couldn't get along well enough. But they had to do it through this. As a matter of survival. And what will survive is this tremendous act of collaboration and cooperation that the regional medical systems have thrown into this. And that has been an impressive story.
Maybe this is a starting point for something wonderful.
My brothers and sisters in journalism across the board, no matter what they did or what they're covering or where they are, have been exceptional at their job. Every single one of them has rolled up their sleeves and done amazing work, no matter what it's been.
Maybe there's hope of collaboration, of great journalism, great things ahead.
Thank you, Catherine. Take care of yourself.
Up next, protecting your mental health in the months ahead in this pandemic. And an iconic radio personality does not hold back about COVID in the Black community. But first, The Ohio Department of Health COVID Hotline is open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., staffed with licensed nurses and infectious disease experts. They're available to answer all of your COVID-19 questions. Just call 1-833-427-5634 or 1-833-4-ASK-ODH. We promised you real talk from real voices. Local 12's Liz Bonus reports on the emotional toll that has gripped 1 in 5 adults. But first, her colleague, anchor Sheila Gray, shares in her words the weight of this pandemic that many of us are feeling.
I had to get some help. And not just because of the grief of not seeing people in my family or not seeing my friends. It's from being immersed in the COVID news, as some of us have been. And, you know, in our jobs, we're not able to turn it off. Being on the air several hours a day, working hard to make sure that we know everything we can to help our viewers understand the crisis. It took a toll on me. And I called our employee assistance program and I got a couple of therapy sessions. So it was a big help for me and probably for my family too.
1 in 5. That's the latest from a new study, which shows 1 in 5 of those diagnosed with the virus also has a mental health concern, such as anxiety or depression, to follow. But even if you don't get this virus, surviving COVID-19 lockdowns and isolation can set all of us up for some of these same concerns, leading to some unhealthy coping mechanisms too.
You know, it wasn't the alcohol itself, it was this hole in my heart that I didn't know why I was doing it.
Sarah Brown knows what it is to struggle with those coping mechanisms. She struggled with alcohol as a young mom for years.
When I turned 29, that's really when I hit rock bottom.
She's not the only one. A study in JAMA Network Open found heavy drinking among women defined as 4 or more drinks within a couple of hours has spiked 41% compared to last year at this time.
We have seen more females coming for treatment than we have males.
DeCoach Rehabilitation Outreach Coordinator Chastity Mason says both men and women are feeling the stress of this pandemic, but especially women.
Women are doing the home roll right now, which has been a lot stressful than normal. So I think that just the change in the way the pandemic is rolling out, it's really affecting women more so than the men.
Those who've had the virus are also feeling the after effects. Here's Dr. Shauna Feibel of the Lindner Center of Hope.
We find that this is probably due to a number of reasons. First of all, the quarantine is so long that if you are exposed and you are positive, you will have to be alone, probably not much contact with friends and family.
As for how to cope, Dr. Feibel says there are 3 things that make a difference. First, take care of the body, which generally means get moving.
There was a study just not long ago that said that people who exercise are less likely to get the coronavirus, COVID-19, and if they do get it, they're less likely to experience severe symptoms such as the ones that would send you to a hospital.
Second, get engaged. Bev Stewart is a retired nurse who is helping to make masks and much more at this needle and thread sewing group at Calvary Baptist Church in Latonia.
Once a nurse, always a nurse, and it always stays with you, so if you can help someone else, then it's still purposeful.
Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help if you're feeling sadness, anxious, or even hopelessness right now.
Everyone struggles with something, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes.
You may also be able to get a proper antidepressant prescription for your needs based on testing from your own DNA. Your primary care doctor is likely the best person to talk to if you're feeling some of these symptoms. That person can refer you then to the best counselor or a guide to get you through this COVID-19 crisis time. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. We'll throw it back to you.
The man of power, Radio 1 talk show host Lincoln Ware, is the voice that African Americans trust and love. We can always count on Lincoln to give us real talk, and in a time of COVID, some wisdom.
Good morning, Cincinnati. I've been in the radio business going on 48 years now, and I've never experienced anything like this ever in life. I never thought I'd be broadcasting my show every day from down in my bunker, pretty much in my basement. I miss seeing people every day, mixing it up with my coworkers, but I don't miss that drive into work every day. Coming up on the show later on, got Dr. Odell Owens. He's going to tell us about the COVID-19 vaccine. I hear a lot of fear when people call in, mainly the older callers. You hear the fear. The younger callers, they seem like they're invincible and, they just take whatever comes their way. But for the most part, there's you hear fear and you hear, hey, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm okay. Believe me, there's still some non-believers out there that don't think this thing is real. It is real. The black community is always disproportionately on the higher end of everything that comes down the pike. And with COVID-19, it's no different. Well, I know my people and black people love to get together indoors. We love to hug each other. We love to shake hands. And people have got to realize they've got to stop that stuff. And, moving in for the shoulder bump, all that stuff has to end. And it's so hard. If you've been doing it all your life, it's hard to stop that habit. People still will reach out their hand ready to shake my hand. I'm like, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, let's give me a little elbow there. It's going to take all hands on deck approach to end this thing. I'm going to be one of the first ones in line to take the vaccine. I can tell you that right now. When you're my age, you don't have time to wait around. Like if you get it, it might take you on out of here. I'll take my chances with the vaccine. Those people who say they're not taking the vaccine, they're looking at the Tuskegee experiment. Let the Tuskegee experiment go. It's a new day. It's a new time. Nothing like that could ever happen again here today. We got to change until the vaccine can wipe this thing out and we go back to normal everyday living. You've got to make that sacrifice. So much to do and so little time. I'm out of here.
This is a serious disease that's taken a long time to recover from.
I'm very proud of the work we do, but it's exhausting. Every family member I see is afraid their loved one is going to die and ask me to try to save their life and do everything I can.
I know there's a sense of COVID fatigue out there. Everybody is tired of staying away from everybody else. I mean, humans are social animals. We need each other. We need those hugs that we can't do right now.
Could you ever imagine watching a Major League Baseball game and the stadium is filled with cardboard cutouts? Yes, heartbreaking. We want baseball. To do that, Reds president and COO Phil Castellini wants to speak candidly to you, Reds Nation.
It was a Greek tragedy not to be able to have fans in the stands. MLB did a great job of creating the protocols. We were one of the teams that had a little bit of a hiccup early on. We had a couple of players at risk, but really I think only 2 positives throughout the whole season. So we were able to keep that bubble tight, and we will do so into the spring and in preparation for the 2021 season. We had built a lot of beautiful new additions to the ballpark that fans didn't get to see. I thought the Community Fund did a great job with the cutouts. Our scoreboard operations people did a great job to put energy into the building with the sounds and the music. Our grounds crew who sat right here and made all the great noise throughout the game, cheering the players on.
I hear them every single time I go out there and pitch. Our grounds crew are second to none. They're the best in the game.
We look forward to having the fans back in 2021, even if it is at reduced capacity numbers. In my belief, it's going to be known as cold, flu, and COVID season as you come to the fall each year. And so I think that's really what we've all learned in the last 6 months. The diligence and discipline of wearing the mask and protecting each other. If you don't feel good, stay at home. These are pretty simple concepts, and if we all do them across the city, across the region, across the nation, we'll be able to figure out how to live with this better and get back to some version of what we all remember to be life as normal. What I'd like to say to the Reds Nation as we prepare for 2021, we really missed you in 2020, and what we can all do over the winter and into the spring to keep this thing in check is going to be what allows us to come back to this ballpark in big numbers. We expect to be a full slate of games for next season. That's still very fluid, as you know, but right now the plan is to have our regular long season and keep the bubble tight, keep players safe, get fans back in the ballparks, in the communities where we can, and certainly Cincinnati is one of those, and we look forward to that. Okay, Reds fans, all across Reds country, you've heard many times, we're all in this together. So let's each do our part. Let's try to get down to 0 cases, 0 positives, 0 deaths in 2021. It should be a goal for all of us, and it all starts right here with the mask. So let's do it. #masks on. Go Red Legs.
Another segment of a community that had to abandon large gatherings are faith-based organizations, churches, temples, mosques. What are faith-based leaders saying to their congregations and communities to inspire them to get zero?
I think the year 2020 definitely will go down in history. And not only did COVID hit, but everything shut down immediately. We have not been back in the church since March as a large congregation. Now, we do hold worship here, but it's a skeleton crew of musicians, singers, and audiovisual people and myself, and then we cast that out to the world. For me, it's the same if there are hundreds of people in the building or thousands of people watching online. Now, you don't get the same reaction coming back to you in the Black church. There's this thing called call and response. So if I say something and they agree with, they'll say amen. But you have to hear the amens in your head because you know they're out there. But people do miss being in the building. They miss the fellowship, they miss the camaraderie, and their faith is strengthened when they can get together. So we do look forward to the time when churches can come back inside the building. Statistically, COVID-19 has had a disproportionate impact on the African American community across our nation. And there are a lot of reasons for that. One, pre-existing conditions, lack of good health care, and early on there was a lack of testing being done in the Black community. We knew that the winter was going to be the hardest time with flu season on top of COVID. And so now we're back to those restrictions that people find onerous and really hate. Wash your hands, social distancing, wear your mask, don't gather in large family gatherings. It's going to get worse, but if we don't, it's just going to be catastrophic. The Apostle Paul writes in the 13th chapter about love. He says, love always protects. And those words, they just jump out at me. So love will wear a mask. Love will social distance. Love will not gather in large gatherings because love always protects. And for those that we love, we will do the things that are necessary for these next few months.
In Christ's name we pray, amen.
The Indiana State Department of Health COVID hotline is open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just call 1-877-427-5634. That's 1-877-427-5634. Who knows better how our community with varying perspectives is feeling than those who talk to people every day as part of their job? Marianne Zalesnik of 91.7 WVXU Cincinnati Public Radio and 700 WLW morning host Mike McConnell share their experiences.
I think the rising numbers and how quickly it became a serious, COVID-19 became such a serious concern certainly was surprising. It was surprising to me sometimes that people didn't believe what we were telling them. I think there were people that wanted to kill the messenger, and really all that we were trying to do was provide that fact-based information, that scientific information that let people know what was going on in their communities. I've covered 9/11. I covered I remember covering certainly the unrest in Cincinnati 20 years ago. Never have we had a story with this lasting impact, a story with this much affecting so many people and just not going away. I keep saying I feel like I'm drinking from the fire hose of news every day because the news just keeps coming at us day after day after day without any sign of it slowing down. Well, you can't work every single day and not get a break. And I think that's true for everybody right now. It's not just those of us in the news business, but you think about the hospital workers and what they're going through. This has been just an amazing time for the amount of effort it's taken to cover this story and to take care of the people affected by COVID-19. I think it is just a matter of saying, can we do this for everybody? Is it a matter of doing the right thing for everybody or doing the selfish thing for yourself? I think it's important that we do what's best for our community. So next year at this time, we can all have fun and enjoy each other. Hopefully by next year at this time, I would hope, and enjoy everybody and see people and do all the things we want to do and not look back and say, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have tried harder. I wish I would have listened more.
I've been doing this since 1975.
And there's never been something that's come along that's impacted everybody and then goes on virtually every day for 8 months. No, there's never been anything like this. I think everybody's fatigued. Some people have just had it up to here. They've had it with the mask, they've had it with the distancing, they've had it with the closures, they've had it with everything. And that makes up a high percentage of the callers.
700 WLW, Mike McConnell, good morning to you.
There's anxiety, but a lot of it is just anger. Americans have a real independent streak, as we know. In some of us, it's stronger than others. And we have that live free or die attitude out there, and don't tell me where I can and cannot go. Don't tell me I have to put on a mask. There's no shortage of those people out there who were the pessimists, who were the naysayers, and they got sick as dogs and almost died. It's a pig-headedness on the part of some, I have to say. And I love every listener to the bottom of my heart. But there's some pig-headed people out there who say, well, you know, I've stood my ground for 9 months. I can't just start putting a mask on now. I can't just start doing this. It's an old talk radio trick. You don't have to admit you were wrong. Just say you changed your mind. Works like a charm. It's worked for me for years. From my perspective, the mask does you good in one key area. Number one, it helps you from spreading it to somebody else through coughing, sneezing, spittle, and things like that. Wearing a mask reminds us that we're not in normal times. Reminds us to keep distance away from people. I see somebody with a mask on, I step back a little bit. I'll tell you right now, if nobody was wearing a mask, would our COVID numbers be significantly higher than they are right now? I flat out guarantee you they would. So from that perspective alone, yes, masks work. The fact that there are vaccines coming along, that's just a tremendous light at the end of the tunnel. I have no fear in taking vaccines. I mean, I would be first in line. It'd be great if everybody took it and we got the herd immunity and this thing disappeared from the globe forever.
This is a brand new vaccine. They're using brand new techniques, but they're not going to put it out there if it isn't safe. The response to vaccines is really different in different parts of the country. And I'm not sure why that is. But I will tell you as a physician, as the county coroner, that this is a vaccine that needs to be taken by the majority of the people so that we can protect each other.
When Procter & Gamble supported the regional Masks On campaign, they included the real voices of 2 COVID survivors who were also interviewed by Radio 1's Lincoln Ware.
When I interviewed Kenyatta back in July for the Mask On campaign, I couldn't believe some of the things he was telling me. He was talking like a defeated man. This virus really got to him. His breathing was uneasy, and I never heard him talk like he was afraid. He was scared.
My name is Kenyatta Smith. I go by the moniker of DJ Vader. I am here to talk to you about COVID-19 and what it felt like to have it. I remember not being able to take a deep breath. At the very worst, I didn't think I was gonna make it to the next day. In the Black community, we need to understand that this is real. I understand that you wanna be around your friends, you wanna be around your family, you wanna be sociable. You don't want this. Trust me, you do not want this. So I'm asking you to mask on for you and definitely mask on for us.
What I took away from that interview is that you never know. One day you could be feeling great, like, hey, I'm a firefighter, I'm a DJ at a club, I'm invincible, nothing can hurt me. And then the next day, you're down on your back, not knowing what's gonna happen to you. That's what I took from that. It's scary. It scared the hell out of me listening to him tell his story.
My name is Tamarsh Pope, and I'm 47 years old. I just want to speak to you all about my experience with COVID-19. It was hard for me to breathe, shortness of breath, my coughing, the stabbing pains. I couldn't sleep at night. I just kept praying and asking God to just get me through this night and wake me up in the morning. My son called me every day. He would FaceTime me. Sometimes I could talk to him, sometimes I couldn't. But he always told me, Mom, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna get better. I want you all to know to just please put your mask on for you. Put your mask on for us.
Damn it, this is real. You gotta wear your mask, you gotta social distance, and it's just no other way around it. This is what we have to do. You can't have parties, you can't do things that you used to do not right away anyway. The sooner you adhere to what they're telling you to do, the sooner we'll get back to normal. I think life in general will return. We just have to be patient. Everybody can do something to get to zero.
My nurses are tired. They are being not only the caregivers for those with COVID, but also the communicators for their families because they can't be here. And it's all because of community spread. So please be respectful and please wear your mask.
We've brought in grief counselors from outside to talk through the hardest moments, of which there are lots of moments where we, go home and cry by ourselves.
I personally was in the room when 2 people died of COVID. I could not get their family members to see them in time.
What do we do? How bad is it? Is it real? And so we're all being kind of bombarded with things, but we just have to find things that help us de-stress.
The biggest and the absolute most important thing about this virus is this little thing right here can save a life. Can save your life, can save my life, can save everybody around you. And, just wearing a mask.
The only way we're going to get on top of this is by all of us working together to prevent spread.
Do the things that are in your control, because there are things that are in your control.
We've been doing a family Zoom every Sunday night and laughing and finding ways to laugh in a pandemic is something that you will never take for granted.
I want to appeal to everybody in the tri-state area. Everyone can do something to get us to zero.
Thank you for joining us for this historic program. For more information and resources, go to our website, healthcollab.org/RC3. You'll find everything you need to help you on the road ahead. And thank you to all of our collaborators who supported this effort. I'm Regina Carswell Russo with the Regional COVID Communications Center, reminding you that everyone can do something. So let's do this. Let's get to zero right now.
There it is. Yeah, hopefully you can hear me now. So there was a couple things that were said in that video that to me were, okay, thank you, April. April was like, no, we can't hear you. You're very low. Yeah, I have the mic off for the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Can you hear me now? Andrea writes, call him or text, because that mofo. Hey, what's up, Regina? How you doing? Good to see you. Excellent job. Excellent job. Can you hear me now? Somebody, yeah, okay, great. Thanks, Ann. So Andrea already knows me. She's like, call that brother, because he'll do this for 15 minutes. It's happened before. It's not pretty. It's not good in terms of media. But let me reiterate what I just said there. Great job by Regina and her team. I agree with what she said. It is historic. Hopefully this will teach people and reach people in terms of giving them information, motivating them. To me, it's empowering. To me, it's very empowering. We are not powerless to COVID. We're not powerless to COVID. There are things that we can do. We can beat this. It will take some discipline. It will take some sacrifice. But we can do this together. And I think it happens in our own families, in our own homes, where we have the most impact. And that means having protocol, masking up, washing the hands, sacrificing some of our social interactions for a short time, family, for a short time. And then we can get back to what we call normal and get back to doing what we love to do as human beings. I love it too. You want to go out? I know how Cincinnatians are. We love to get our drink on with some outdoor events and some good food. You laughing and dancing with people you like to chill with and kick it with? Man, listen, few things better. We'll get to all of that. But right now we got to beat this. I saw Brother Kenyatta, a.k.a. DJ Vader. Prayers up to him and his family. I hope the brother has a 100% recovery. I do remember when it was going on. And, you know, I was concerned. You know, I don't know the brother like that, but I'm generally very positive and wish the best for everybody. A couple things came out of that I thought were very, very interesting. As I said, you know, the pledge, what I'm trying to do in terms of my personal health, and again, I had a cardiac event earlier this year, so that kind of spurred this thing along, is I call it the COVID-19. You ever heard of freshman 15 or freshman 19 where they say you put on 15 pounds your freshman year of college? Where I'm trying to go minus COVID-19. I'm trying to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds during COVID-19. And I thought it was very interesting. I want to reiterate this. I think this is powerful and hopefully motivational to anybody that hears that. And that is what I picked up from some of the experts is that if you're someone who exercises on a regular basis, then your body is going to be more resistant to COVID-19. And even if you catch it, then your body, because of that resistance, that natural immunity, is probably going to be more, you're going to have far less serious symptoms. That sounds good to me. Yeah, everybody knows I'm on that health kick. I tell you every show, I'm about that healthy lifestyle 100%. Okay? That means cardio every day, hitting them weights every day. It don't have to be like super He-Man type. You ain't trying to be the next WWE superstar, but maintaining your health, eating right. I'll share some tips with my audience in terms of how you can build up your own natural immunity. It's the food that heals you and kills you. It's the food. There are certain foods and some minor choices you can make that will help your body naturally boost your immune system. We started this months ago inside the household. I want to give my kids and my family and myself every advantage, every opportunity to fight COVID-19 so we don't get sick and end up in the hospital. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that from any of my listeners or any of the family members of my listeners. So you can reach out to me, hit me with a DM. I'll share with you some of the few things that I know that seem to be working with me in terms of healthy alternatives. Again, there are some simple choices you can make that can boost up your own natural immunity to everything, including COVID-19. But one of the easiest things you can do no matter what you're eating is hit the trail and walk. You ain't got to run. You ain't gotta, skywalk on them. You ain't gotta dunk and play basketball. Just walk. Just get that 30 minutes in, 15 minutes in one direction, 15 minutes back home. Or start like this, 7 minutes in one direction, 7 minutes back home. Get 15 minutes in every day. Everything about you is going to feel better if you do that. Everything. All right. And you're going to start to build up your natural immunity for COVID, for the flu, and whatever else. Now let's talk about this vaccine, family, because we had a Lemmy Rice walk is good, man. Listen, you don't need to jog. You ain't need to. All you got to do is get a nice brisk walk in every single day. 30 minutes. Don't even try to do 45 minutes to an hour. Your body is going to change. I guarantee it. Now it matters what you eat. If you eating, foods that don't support weight loss, well, then you're going to slow down your weight loss. But even if you don't change what you're eating, just doing that every day is going to have an amazing effect on your body, on your attitude, on your mood, your mental health, your skin, everything. I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it like that. That's all you got to do. And it's so right. Cincinnati has so many great walks, parks, neighborhoods, and trails. It really does. Cincinnati is real good for that. And I live in the center city, Coreyville area, all kinds of hills, man. Man, I love walking downtown and back. Love it. Nothing better. And it's amazing how just doing that will slowly transform your body, your attitude, your skin, your health, your cardiovascular system, all of that. And then once you start, you ain't gonna want to stop. It feels so good, that natural high. So again, I share this with my family members, you, my audience, out of love. I share it out of love. I don't want to see you go through what I went through in February. I don't want to hear about you laying up in the hospital with COVID-19. You don't want to be in the hospital right now. You don't want to be in the hospital right now. You do not want to be there. Tanya writes, you can also find lots of walking videos on YouTube that actually work. Man, listen, if you can, and we're thinking about doing the whole Peloton thing. We're thinking about getting a Peloton. I think that's what it's called. Peloton, yeah. We got to hook up. We think about getting a Peloton in the house so that when it starts to get cold, although I like to walk in the cold, unless it gets, I like to walk in the cold. You know, now that I started this walking thing, I like to get it in every single day. My day is not the same unless I get it in. I don't even feel the same, but get yourself a Peloton, walk indoors. It's a minor investment, or it's a major investment, depending on what your pockets look like. But when you compare that to laying up in a hospital, having some kind of cardio surgery or cardiac surgery or some other kind of surgery or just an extended hospital stay, man, it ain't even no comparison to that. And you're going to feel better. It's not like getting on that treadmill and watching your favorite show. Man, before you know it, it's over with. It's over with, and you got it in. So take care of yourself, family, 100%. Let's talk about this vaccine now. We had what I thought was a very important, very, very important conversation earlier today. I thought it was a great conversation earlier today with some professionals, you know, some people that know what they're talking about, some people that have the expertise in this area, which I do not. I mean, I'll tell you what I know and I'll tell you what I don't know. I'll be quite honest with you and upfront with you. If you missed it, of course, you know, that video is available and you can check it out on our Facebook feed. It's on, if you're on Facebook right now on CDM's page, you can check it out right there. You can check it out right there. It is available to you. All right. And I want you to go ahead and do that. All right. I want you to check that out. I'm going to play clips of it. I'm going to play clips of it throughout the day. You know, that's how powerful that I think it is. I think it's a very, very powerful conversation that people need to hear. And if you missed any of that, I can play some of it from earlier today for you, from some of our conversation. I can do that. I got it all set up for you. But I think I see some of the people who were here earlier. Again, it's on our Facebook page. I was going to play it earlier. I thought, wait a minute, it's already there. So, you know, you can check it out whenever you want to check it out. And just kind of flash forward. We started 1 hour into the conversation. I wish that they allowed us to bookmark. Oh, hold on a second. I see we got Regina. Hold on. What's up? We got to bring Regina. Hey, how you doing, Regina?
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. How do you feel?
Oh my God. I think that it delivered on the message. I really do. And there's two messages here. One, of course, it's we can do everything we can to get to zero. And I think that all the stories said that. They came across from every point of view and every zip code. The other message is that this region cares about how we get through this pandemic. And it showed up in those real voices and the variety of voices that came together and the TV stations and the radio stations and you that just jumped in to help deliver this message. So I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy.
Were you pleased with everything? I thought it was very well done, super on point, very timely. And again, I think and I hope that it'll have an impact.
Well, tell me more. Tell me what resonated with you. That's what I want to know. How did it resonate with you?
Well, what resonated with me is the fact that you brought so many different media entities together that on the surface would appear to have different, I won't say interests, but different interests, for lack of a better term, you know, as my mind is searching for it, all for this cause right here. In terms of the Black community, I like the fact that Lincoln was a part of it, telling Kenyatta's story, which I think was very powerful. So people can actually see that this is not a game. Like, you can't get sick and you can't die from that. And then there were some tidbits of information that I think for me overall, what I took from it was inspirational in the sense that we can't beat this. We're not powerless to this. There are things that we can do that can help strengthen our bodies, strengthen our resolve, strengthen our defense, against COVID-19 and this pandemic.
That's exactly what we were going for. So often we get turned away by messaging that is scare tactics, not really scare tactics, but very aggressive because people are dying. Hospitals are being overwhelmed, but we forget that there are different ways. We were talking about that this morning of how we approach and how we give messaging to people. And that was what I really wanted to do. I wanted a different approach. I wanted to meet people exactly where they are, because if you don't, they're just not going to hear you and they're not going to get it. And at the end of the day, that's what we're in the business of doing, communicators, right? Being able to connect and translate messages so people feel, and then they can act. And then they feel empowered to act. And that is something that sometimes can get lost in the message, that you actually have the power to help and to protect yourself.
And the other thing is, now for me, now that you've created this collaborative, this media collaborative, we've got, beyond COVID, other issues that I think could take a collaborative approach to try to address. Is that on your radar screen at all?
Yeah, you know what? We've opened the door and we see that we can get it done. And we see that there's interest. And that's the thing about this region. We will come together because we know that we can come together and we are more powerful with a collective voice. So, of course, there's no turning back now.
Yeah. I love it. Did you get any real-time feed from people? I know people were probably inundating you with texts and all kind of stuff. What are people saying?
Let me tell you something. Text, they were my social media. What I'm really proud of is, I hope my community is proud of too. This was a vision of Right Now Communications, which is a vision of mine. And this is kind of another iteration of my journey of telling stories that impact people and that can help a community. And it was a Black woman that did this. Okay. And there is a story there. When I asked the community to help, they all did. They all did. We have a voice. We have perspective. We have power. We have influence. And people do respect it, right? And it was important to me, the types of voices, the kind of voices, and all of that. And they all went in there. And so I don't know. I'm just a little overwhelmed because I'm really hopeful that it helps. At the end of the day, that's what I want. I want it to help us, our community. I want it to help the broader community. And what happens to one impacts the other. And that's the other thing that just is overwhelming to me, that all the stations, all the media outlets, and everybody who came together, they get that.
Most def. So what's the rest of the night look like for you? What are your plans? Like just taking more information in, or are you about to hit the bed like I'm out?
No, there's some champagne that I haven't finished yet. And so and then I'm sitting back, and then after that, I'm telling you, it's time to get back to work. It's time to get back to telling people what they need, giving people what they want. You know what I mean? It's time for it.
It's funny how the celebration is like this, but the work is always like this. It's always like that. It's like the work never ends.
Yeah, and to tell you, that's the thing, right? Because there's so many different approaches. We are talking about COVID and we're talking about something heavy, but the fact that people received this message in the way that we approached it, to me, shows that we can get through to people. And thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate it. That we can get through to people. And listen, we can turn the tide on this. And I'm telling you, every day I wake up and I'm praying. I'm praying that my family and I are okay. Every morning I'm praying. I'm like, everybody good? Any fevers? Everybody can smell? Everybody can taste stuff? We good? Right? And every day that happens, I'm thankful and I'm grateful. And this messaging and this campaign is to ensure that everybody else wakes up every morning with that same grace.
Most Def FG, thank you for checking it out. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we want to be a part of anything that's positive for our community here in the city of Cincinnati. That's the whole point of good media. You know, what's the point of doing media if it doesn't have a positive impact in the communities that you serve? That's the number one goal, in my opinion.
That's right. That's right. It is powerful when it is used in a constructive way. And here's the other thing. This is the thing about us, Nathan, as communicators. When I said in the press release that extraordinary times calls for extraordinary measures, when we approach things the same way, we get the same results. We see tonight that we can break the mold and we can approach things from an innovative, creative, I don't like to say out of the box, I like to say with a broader lens, and that people will receive it. And now is the time to test out these things and approach our community in a different, fresh way so that they have the information that they need so that they can be safe.
Anthony said some good words about you. Said your laugh is infectious. Dwayne says, I missed the broadcast. Will it be replaying? Well, it's up on CDM's page, and as soon as we end, you can watch it. Mm-hmm. So it'll stay up there for as long as there's a Facebook, unless Facebook decides to take it down for some reason.
Nathan, I have to thank you so much for jumping in and supporting this and wrapping your arms around it and just being, I am so grateful. So thank you so much. Your mic is off.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I that's not the first time. But absolutely, you know, when I found out about it, I'm like, what can I do for the city? What can I do with my little show to kind of help push the narrative in any way possible? I'm 100% about that. So again, thank you for putting the effort together. You made it easy for me. You know, you served it up on a T-ball. So you did all the hard work.
Thank you. We've got a lot of work to do. We do. And I just want to encourage everyone to continue to seek information and to come to Nathan and come to the places where you know you trust to get the information. We'll keep providing the information and be an advocate for yourself. Make the right choices for yourself, because the choices that you make for you you're making it for our community. Okay, so keep doing that. And we're going to do the same.
Oh, absolutely. All day, every day. I appreciate you. So you about to get that champagne popping?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, do you mind if I can just go take a little sip? Do you mind?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Enjoy. You deserve it.
Nathan, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you right back. Thank you
guys for watching. Talk to you soon.
Almost Def. That's Regina. That's Regina Carswell Russo, everybody. Again, it was her company to put it together. I just love her story. I mean, you know, I just see some similarity. I mean, she was working in traditional broadcast, stepped away from that and started doing her own thing. You know, leveraging her talents to create her own pathway. And, you know, that's my story as well. When people ask, well, what's your why? Well, my why is I decided after many years of corporate radio that I wanted to leverage my talent for myself, that I had a vision. I have a vision, you know, for media. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be at odds with anybody else. I think what Regina is doing is proving that there's a way for it all to exist. Because it's really about you. It's really about you. I'm not going to do media that doesn't impact the community. I have no interest in it whatsoever. Now, of course, we have fun. I chop it up. I give you strong opinions. We're going to do all of that. That's the nature of you know, talk radio, even digital talk radio. But at the core, and really not too far from the surface, it's about you. It's about you, 100%. It's about making sure that, you know, we're having the kind of conversations that matter to the times that we live in. Real simple. Now, you know, the mission of CDM is to amplify Black voices, to amplify marginalized voices, and we are going to continue to do that. I want to remind you to check out the show tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. And then, of course, at 12:30 p.m., check out the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. Over the weekend, of course, you got the Dope Chicks Collective on Sunday at 1 p.m. Midday Juice Tuesdays and Thursdays. Valet Service Podcast. We got Community Connector coming on very, very soon with Tiffany Daniels. She'll be talking about wealth building, real estate, cryptocurrency, you name it. You know, how to build wealth in your family. And again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Much more to follow. And everybody knows me. I'm a collaborator. You know, I think like, well, why can't we work together to try to reach a similar path? So if you know someone who's interested in building media, hey, let them know about the Nathan Ivey Show. Let them know about CDM. Let me know about what they're doing. Perhaps we can work together in some way. You know, that's how I see it. Dwayne writes, thanks, Nate. Again, thank Regina. She served it up on a T-ball. Like I said, I meant that. Don writes, great job, Regina. I agree. 100%. All kudos to her. She made it easy. I mean, you know, this is easy for me. You know, so this is a city that I love, and I'm doing something I love. If I could, I'd broadcast 10 hours a day. I love it that much. I just can't do that for a lot of reasons. Not the least of which is I got a 5-year-old who's in digital learning. So I know that struggle. Trust me. Then I got to sleep. And I'm married to a beautiful black woman, which takes time to keep that relationship going. And I have a daughter. So there's a lot of things going on. And I produce podcasts for other people. So I got to make sure I'm tight on all levels. So we got to talk about this vaccine, though. And shout out to Regina for joining us. We had her here with us here on CDM. I really appreciate it. I can't remember how I met Regina. It was years ago. You know, she's always been nice to me. Regina's always been cool people. The first time I ever got on local television was because of Regina Carswell. She was Regina Carswell back then. And before she got married. And this is going way, way back to the so-called riots, the social unrest. And a partner and I were doing a public radio station or show on Wave. And she put us on for commentary. And that was my first time being on local television. Never forget it. Yeah, your boy was on local TV doing, you might have forgot that or didn't know it, huh? Yeah. Dropped some superlative flows, you know, how many years ago that was, giving some of that commentary from the streets, from the street level. It was an awesome experience. And it sort of opened my eyes to the possibilities of it. But, you know, I've always been a fan of hers. I think very highly of her. And then, you know, I think somebody said it. She got a real infectious personality. And she's real. So I appreciate her 100%. All props to her. Again, we're very, very privileged to have her with us tonight. Anthony writes, we need some firearms and personnel defense real talk on the regular, Nathan. I'm with that. I pitched the idea to Brother Forte. I love to see Brother Forte, you know, do something like that. I'm open to it. I'm down with that kind of conversation. I'm down with that kind of a pod or a live stream. I think there's a way to do that in which is very informational for the audience. And also, if you're someone that's your business, if that's your business, I think, you know, that kind of media visibility can only help you. So if you got somebody in mind, let me know. Let me know. Don was with us earlier. Is that you, Don? Yeah, she was on with us earlier. Hey, what's up, Don? I appreciate your time this morning. She was so patient. I just know we had the doctor was on earlier, Dr. Frank. Again, I never would have pronounced his name from the spelling that way. And Don was just so great. She gave so much good energy and information for us this morning. Again, today's podcast live stream is up on CDM's page and the YouTube page as well. You know, so you can check it out whenever you want to. I may break that down in smaller bites, so to speak, and put it out there so people can just get straight to the substance and hear these fine folks and what they had to say. Daryl writes, hey, Nate. What's up, Daryl? Good morning to you, brother. Good to see you. So again, you know, I love the digital age. I'm 100% about it. In my opinion, I keep saying it. He writes, I missed you tonight. It's okay, man. It's all right. You know, this will be up. You can still check it out. And then I'll be talking about it tomorrow morning. I might even play some clips. And we ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, God willing, the universe willing, however you want to look at it. As long as I can do what I do, I'm going to do what I do. So I'll be with you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. and we'll chop it up on everything, kind of recap it. Again, really appreciate we have Regina with us. I feel very fortunate to say that. You know, this was broadcast. I don't know if she's with other folks. Perhaps she is, but this was broadcast on all the major news channels, all of the digital, websites and platforms. And we had her here with us at the end. That is super big. So I appreciate that. And anybody got any questions or comments? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I got to do. I'm not popping no champagne. You know, I don't drink alcohol, but I do have some things we got to do. She writes, Tanya writes, this day started with awesome information. Now to end the night with Regina is phenomenal. I agree with you. I agree 100%. It is phenomenal. Yeah, I appreciate her. She's showing CDM and Nathan Ivy Show a lot of love. And you know me. You rock with me, I'll rock with you. You already know. I'm a very simple human, simple creature. But like I said, me and Regina go way back. Way back. So, and again, I meant what I said. I mean, it's a damn shame that it appears on the surface that you have media outlets with competing interests. Because in my opinion, it's really one Cincinnati, even though we know that racially, demographic-wise, economically-wise, there are two distinct Cincinnatis. Don't ever forget that. But I stand by what I've always said, that a rising tide lifts all boats. That if we address the issues of the Black community, of the economically disadvantaged and struggling communities, it's going to serve the interest of everybody in Cincinnati, whether you were born with money, whether you got a big house and live in Avondale or Hyde Park or wherever you live. So it's going to make life better in Cincinnati for everybody. The last good times is when more people have more. And so I would love to see this kind of collaborative on other issues, because there might be people that think that we are at odds, but we really are not, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's the way I look. And other people may be like, nah, bump that, Nate, we on our own. We don't have to be. We don't have to be. There are some big issues that if all these companies came together on a more regular basis, and maybe Regina can start this. That's why I brought it up. Maybe she can be a part of that. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Maybe she can be a part of that. And we can make this city into what everybody wants this city to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got the opportunity. It's bigger than just a politician. It comes to the media outlets. It comes to the people. It's on all of us if we really believe in this brighter day. Because Cincinnati has a lot to offer. It's got a lot to offer. There's a lot of people living good in this city. This region has a lot to give to the people that live here. My interest is making sure that more people get a chance to enjoy that. As simple as that. And when I look at it, the people who are, demographically, if I want to look at it racially, I see too many of my people on the wrong side of that. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's change that. That's what I say. Daryl writes, independent digital media is the frontier supported by us. Daryl, you could never be so right. You're right. You absolutely right, man. I mean, CDM is just kicking off. We're just like a little bitty fish in a big old pond right now. But with your support, in a year, in 2 years, who knows where we could be? Who knows where we can be? My attitude is go hard, go big, or go home. So keep watching, keep supporting. I feel indebted to deliver, for my audience and for the people that I rock with. So I take it real seriously. So we'll see. If you look around the country, I mean, digital media is where it's at. Hence the name, Sin Digital Media. I saw a vision many years ago, literally. Anthony writes, also, Nate, when things get back to normal, when things get back to what we call normal, maybe you can start having those social mixers again. We have to start building our village bond and making it stronger. When things get back to normal, I most certainly want to do that and more. So, I've been doing virtually producing and remotely producing the shows because of COVID. I was renting a space. It was a little small space, and it was a great experience. It's a great experience. I now have a better idea of what I need and what I want to do because of that experience. So when things get back to normal, I 100% plan on doing that. No doubt about it. 100% and more. And more. Andrea writes, speak. Dale writes, you going to blow up, Nate? No, we'll see. I really want the people, I want all the folks I'm working with to blow up. That's how I judge success. If all the people I'm working with, they podcasts blow up, they live streams blow up, just know Nate somewhere's thinking, yeah, we doing this. That's what it's really all about. But I appreciate that. Whatever happens to me happens to we. We're going to do it together. You know, because, it's funny, the people I reach out to the podcast are choppers. I'm working with choppers right now developing podcasts. Those are the people I'm closest to. Those are the people that's responding. So I'll say it again. If you know someone that's already doing a podcast and you think they might want to get down with something like this, let me know. Let them know. If you're thinking about developing a podcast or a live stream, it doesn't even have to be video. It could just be audio. Hit me up with a DM. Hell, if you want to chop us, I'm willing to help you and walk you through your own process. You might say, Nate, I don't even want to be, no offense, I want to do my own thing. I'll help you walk through the process. So you don't have to waste your time and money. I've already done it. Simple as that. The people that support me, I support you 100%. Simple as that. With my time, my expertise, my money, my talents, that's what I'm gonna continue doing that. That's my why. That's why I'm doing this. I feel like that's why the Creator put me here to do what I'm doing right now. And that's what I'm gonna do. Until the end. Dale writes, you creating a local network. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Most definitely. We've already done that. We've got a small network of shows already that are locally based and more shows to come in that are locally based and regionally and nationally based. So we're already doing it. Right now it's just about making sure that more people get a chance to see and then tweaking what we do so we can get the very best out of the time and the talent. It's always the tweaking process, right? That's why you come in to all my patrons. Some of you folks are my patrons. I send you podcast art. I send you ideas. I look at my patron group as it's like a workshop group. It's like a focus group where we're behind closed doors. I know you rock with me because you're my patron. You're actually supporting me monetarily on a monthly basis. So I send it to you first before I send it to anybody else. As a matter of fact, if you're a patron, check that feed. I got some art up right now. I want you to take a look at. I want to get your opinion. Lemmy writes, like an exercise show and yoga. I like the idea of it. It's funny you say that, Lemmy. I've actually had a conversation with someone who's doing an exercise and yoga show. It was just a conversation. Nothing came out of it, but great minds think alike. I'm definitely down with that. Well, listen, folks, I got to make a move. There's a couple things I need to tidy up before tomorrow. I hate to go to bed without already knowing what I want to talk about the night before, because you never know what's going to happen in the morning. I might wake up late or something. So I like to have my ducks in a row before I wake up the next day. And I want to make sure I'm tight for tomorrow's full day of podcast. You got the Is It Just Me podcast coming up at 12:30 tomorrow. So it's all, like I said to her, the celebration is like this. The work is always like this. That's what I've learned. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I would do it again. And twice on Sunday. Hey, listen, if you like these Black Voices Matter sweatshirts, I don't have a link in today's description. Not subscription, but description. But if you check out tomorrow's show, I always post a link. It's up on Teespring right now, Nathan Ivey store. And you can get the Black Voices Matter. It doesn't have the CDM on it. That was just a limited thing we did for the first round of winners. We were running some contests. But it's got the iconic Nathan Ivey. I can show you right here. It's got that right there, all in black. It's a lighter color, so it really stands out. And you can, support the merch and the platform and the show, Black Voices Matter. I 100% believe that if Black lives matter, then Black voices must matter. Just like Black politics matter and Black policy matters, Black economic matters. To me, it's all in line. So again, I'm gonna leave you like that, family. I really appreciate you being here. Oh, I got a photograph right there. It is right there. I really appreciate you being here. I got to make a move. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7:30 a.m. We'll chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Viva La Choppers. Thank you for being here. If you came in a little bit late, as soon as I end this stream, it'll be available for you to watch in its entirety. And again, I took a step back and just let the video roll. Now, I will say at the very beginning, we had some echoing going on. I quickly took care of that. I think We had no problems after that. And then Regina jumped on at the end of it as well, so you can watch it in its entirety and then tell me what you think. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. Have an excellent rest of your evening. Take care of yourself. Get that exercise in if you didn't. And I'll be with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Thank you.